Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the next advantage. I'm excited to be here. I know that you are. And once again, wherever you are, please give a big shout out to the DBHQ team. I think they're doing an amazing job, right? And just like Lisa said, the speakers who are going to be coming on this platform through the course of this 2-day event are absolutely mind blowing. These are people who have blazed their trail, right? And they have achieved tremendous results. And for me, it's an honor to be here. And of course, anytime Lisa calls, I would answer because she just does amazing, amazing things. And also, please, I'd like for you to celebrate yourself for giving yourself the permission to be here today, for actually making it here today, because I know a lot of people registered, but not everybody gets to show up. And so if you registered, and not only did you register, you also showed up live in person to be able to attend this, to take part of this, then I think that you have done yourself a tremendous, tremendous favor. So it's a pleasure to be talking to you today. We have quite a bit to cover over the next hour, and I'm sure that by the turn of the hour, this session is going to be very, very impactful. It's going to be very practical, and it's also going to be very actionable. So the goal is, once we leave here, what are we doing, right? I think there's a famous yellow brand that says, whose tagline now is, what are we doing today, right? And so my goal is at the end of this call today, at the end of this session, this first session, we're able to answer that question, what are we doing today, right? So what's the next step that we're going to take in our journey? And just like the conference is set up, right? It's set up for the guy, the girl, that person who wants to go from just being a digital hustler, right, to actually being an entrepreneur. Lisa said something, and that is, people learn skills, but they don't exactly learn the systems to execute those skills, right? So you could learn graphic design, you could learn web design, you could learn web development, you could learn anything. I mean, skills are these days are everywhere. They're out there. You could learn anything and everything that you desire to, but to actually put systems around it, right, and be able to be successful with that skill, put a business structure around it that can scale, that takes something else, right? So that's the difference between you and an established brand that you admire. It's about what systems and structures do you have in place, right? And so my job here today is very simple. Okay, we're talking about how we can go from freelancing, like going beyond freelancing now, that is, right, to building a scalable business. Okay, so now you must understand that most of us, when we start out, we're probably going to start out as a one-man shop, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But you don't want to get too comfortable in just being on your own that you miss the bigger picture that a business system can help you take advantage of, right? So you don't want to be too comfortable being on your own that you miss the bigger picture that a business system would make you take advantage of, right? So the opportunities out there. And as you grow, as you keep expanding, as you keep evolving, you'd be able to spot them. But at the time when you spot these opportunities, the question would always be, do you have what it takes to take advantage of it? All right. And so with that notion, over the next 45 minutes, we're going to be looking at the practical systems and actionable steps to take to be able to go from being a one-man, army to being able to create a business system. Right now, you may not, become a GoNomad and you have 25 people on the team, right? I think we're 25 now, right? So you will not become that. It may be 5 people for you. It may be 3 people. It may be one person, one extra person, and 3 softwares, right? But there's a structure to scaling. And that structure is something that you need if you're looking at being wildly profitable, if you're looking at scaling your revenue, if you're looking at scaling your growth, you need structure. That's the fundamental theme of this session. You need certain level of systems, right? And that's what we're going to be getting into. So today I have my notes here with me, well prepared, and we're going to be talking about different things, right? Again, guys, we're trying to go beyond freelancing into building a scalable business. But then the question now is, what's a scalable business, right? What's a scalable business? What's your idea of a scalable business? Because if you do not have a picture in mind that you're working towards, essentially you have nowhere to. So if you know exactly what your target is, you know exactly what you're aiming for, you have that picture in mind, then we can know where we're getting to. Now, when I started GoNomad in 2021, right, I had an idea of where I wanted the brand, the business, the company, the organization to get to, right? I envisioned 20 people working at GoNomad. I envisioned building a team of 5, of 10, as the case may be, right? And to be honest with you, you know, at 25, I'm not satisfied, right? There's a bigger vision, there's a bigger vision, there's a bigger vision, and we're going to get there, right? Because there are systems to follow. And here's the thing about business that you have to understand. Whatever you are trying to do, somebody else has done it before you. I'll take that again. Whatever you are trying to do, somebody else before you has done it. So whenever you get frustrated, right? Whenever you get discouraged, whenever you get perplexed, right? As the case may be, please note, please remember that somebody else has done that same thing that you're willing to do. So if somebody has been successful at it, there's every chance that you can be if you're in the right space, right? And you're actually implementing stuff. Because yes, there's a lot of factors that have to that control or affect how successful you would be at the thing. But there are certain fundamentals that if you have in place, you would be able to see measurable success. And that's why it was important for me to mention that whatever it is you're trying to do in business, please know somebody else has done that thing before you. So it is possible, right? 99% of the time, it is possible, okay? But today we're not here for whether it's possible or not. We know it's possible, so how do we get there? Now, again, moving from where? Freelancing, right, to building scalable businesses. What's the first thing that I would like to do? Perception. That's the first thing. Perception. Please note that. Perception. Okay? Perception. Perception is the first thing that I would infuse into my business if I was a freelancer today. Now, it's a process to go from freelancer, to go from single one-man shop to an organization, to an enterprise, to a system, right? It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So you have to implement things as you go. You don't have to wait till when you have a certain amount of revenue or a certain amount of this or a certain amount of that. You know, things never really, all your boxes can never really be checked at the same time. Why? Because that's the thrill of life. There's always that space for us to hunger for more. Because if we have everything today, then we no need to be enthusiastic about tomorrow. Right? So the fact that there's still something to look forward to, there's still something to aim for, there's still something to get us out of bed, that means we would always be missing something. There would always be a missing piece of the puzzle. So you can't have everything figured out and ready at the same time. So it's a process. So the first thing, what are we going to do? We're going to begin to infuse perception into our business. Perception. What is perception? How do you see me? Right? How do you see me? Forget the fact that my bio was read to you, right? And if you caught that. When I come on stage like this, looking the way I'm looking, all fly and fancy, what do you think of me? How do you perceive me exactly? Before I even utter a word, if I show up like this, right, in front of you, what do you think? Now I can guess certain things that you will be thinking in your head. Guess what? I know you're thinking, but I didn't plant any thought in your head directly by telling you, oh, think of me this way, or think of me that way, or think of me the other way. Right now, as I've asked you the question, what do you think of me? You probably already have different thoughts running in your head. I didn't tell you anything. You've already begun to think. You already begin to have notions. Oh, this guy looks, he looks like somebody in tech. I'm sure you probably thought of that. He looks like somebody that has this or has that, or is into this, would like that. I never told you a thing. That's the same thing that happens with your customers. So when your clients come to you, even before you utter you read out your best sales script, your best sales speech, they are already thinking. And so if they're already thinking, what exactly do you think they'll be thinking about? Because I know for sure that if I'm to take guesses right now, I'll probably be right on some things that you're already thinking about. And that's because I have created an intentional image that transfers those ideas without me having to say them. So when I come to you as a potential client, even before I say hello to you, guess what? I already have a thought going through my mind. So perception is your ability to influence that thought, right? It's your ability to influence that thought before we have a conversation. First impressions don't happen when we say hello. It happens the moment I'm able to read you, the moment I'm able to see you from afar. That's where the first impression actually happens. Same thing in business. When we check out your social media handles, when we check out your Instagram, when we check out your website, we're already forming a perception. So sometimes even when we reach out to you saying, hello, do you offer this? Can you help me with that? We already have a thought, a perception about you in our minds. We're just looking to see if you can validate it or debunk certain things. Right? So perception is the first thing you want to begin to infuse into your business. So as a freelancer, as a one-man army, do you have a website to start with? Perception. So if you do not have a website where I can visit to get information about what you do, and I'm only left to be able to do that on, say, Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, it doesn't mean you're not capable of what you're doing. That's not what it means. There's just going to be a perception. It could be that the perception would be, well, if this person is not willing to invest in having a proper web presence for their business, then isn't it risky working with this person? Another angle of thoughts could be, well, I mean, it could be that, this person probably just prefers to roll on social media and do things really quickly and just be there for their clients. So maybe they're the one I should go with. People can have different perceptions and thoughts about you, but you have the power to be able to influence it. So if you want me to see you as a more organized enterprise or a more organized company or a more organized business, what's something that you probably should have? As simple as a website. The next thing, your email address. Is it at gmail.com? Is that what you use to work with clients? Or is it at your company's name.com? Or is it at your brand's name.com? Or .ng or .africa, as the case may be? Perception. When you email me from a company or a work email address, I'm already thinking something of you. I'm already thinking, hey, wait a minute, this guy, this person has invested in their brand. They have made an investment into their brand. They are completely different from somebody who is just using a free Gmail account. That's what we're thinking. And so we're thinking, okay, this person is to be taken seriously. They are less likely to be a fail through, right? This person is to be taken seriously. That's what the singular act of purchasing a domain and creating Samuel at mybrandname.com. Email me at samuel@mybrandname.com. Email me at Mr. NMD at mybrandname.com. Email me at Joseph Okori at mybrandname.com or Joseph at mybrandname.com, right? As simple as getting a customized work email communicates a perception to a client, right? What's another way we can create perception? Your address. Do you know that today you could create what I call a global office right from your home in Nigeria? A global office where you have office addresses in different countries like the US, like the UK, any country in the world, right? while still being able to keep your Nigerian presence. So you could purchase offices globally and create the perception that you're a global business, even though your business doesn't have a physical location in those places. So when I come to your website today, I could actually see an address for your US office and your Nigerian office. What is that? What do you think that communicates to me? This person, this brand, this company is an international business. Now, I'm not going to come to ask you, oh, I saw on your website that you have a US address. Is that true? Is that real? No, that's not the typical question that you're going to get. People are going to assume on their own that you have a physical location there, right? And people, whether they are or not they are based there, it gives your brand an elevated look. It shows more commitment that, oh, wait, this person not only is operating from one location, they're also operating from another location. They must be trusted, right? They must be trusted. And you too can set up a global office for your business. You don't have to create a company yet. You can do it. We can come to your Instagram today and see your Nigerian address, see your US address, as the case may be. It's possible. It's perception. Whether or not we think that you are there working out of those countries physically is on us. You did not plant that thought. I mean, you did technically, but not directly, right? However, you profit off of the positive perception that doing something like that benefits your business, right? So that's the advantage, okay? First things first, perception, guys. When you want to begin to scale, perception. Because we still see you as a one-man shop where if he falls sick, we wouldn't be able to get the job done, the project would not be delivered, and all of that, then what's really the point? So perception, as simple as perception. It's a genius move. There's a client of ours today that signed on recently, and in Nigerian Naira has paid us, a lot of money, right? 7-figure deal. And this client is from Australia. Let me tell you the story of how this client, converted. So we have a website, as every brand should, right? And guess what we did? On that website, our support phone numbers are not just Nigerian. So our primary support phone number is a United States of America support phone number. That's the primary number. Nigerians who can call into that number, Australians can call into that number, people in Britain can call into that number. It's a US phone number. That's the primary support number, right? Now, so this guy comes on the website, he's looking around, he's curious, he has some questions, and he sees a US phone number. He's like, okay, cool. He picks up his phone, he dials the number, right? The call gets passed on to me. I speak with him. The whole time, he thinks I'm in the US, right? The whole time. Now, I didn't have to say, oh, I'm in the US, or I'm currently traveling, or I'm in Singapore. The fact that we were able to create a perception that we were globally present by having a global office, and one of the items you get in the global office is the phone number, right? It's an international phone number. So the mere fact that we had an international phone number, somebody from Australia was very comfortable calling us to get support, right? And he picks up the phone, he gives us a call, and we speak to him, close the deal, while doing this completely remotely. Now, if that phone number was not there, would he have been able to reach out? The chances are lesser. Maybe he could have tried to send an email. Who knows? Maybe he could, but he didn't. He placed the phone call, right? And that phone call, I could take it from any country in the world. I did not have to be in the US. So as simple as a phone number brings in a 7-figure deal. So what's that thing? What's that perception that you could infuse into your brand today that would attract somebody from Canada to give you a phone call or to reach out to you and say, hey, I'm interested in what you do. I'd like to work with you. Please tell me more. It could be as simple as having an address. For us, it was as simple as just having a US phone number. As simple as that. And it's dirt cheap to have it, right? It's dirt cheap to have it. So you can create it, put it on there, whether or not people call in, it's not the question. It's the perception that matters, right? When you call into some kinds of businesses, right? When you call into some kind of businesses and you hear an automated response and they say, hey, press 1 to speak to somebody or press 2 to speak to somebody, how do you feel? Right? How do you feel? You probably feel like, oh, wait, this is a very serious company. This is like an established brand. Like your trust level goes from here to here. Do you know that in your own business today, for dirt cheap, and I mean dirt cheap, you could have an office number where people would call in and it would say, hi, welcome to XYZ business. How may we help you today? Please press 1 to speak to the customer support rep, or press 2 to speak to sales, or press 3 to leave a message. Remember the days of calling your service providers and support, your internet service provider, right? When you call in the support team and they begin to tell you, please hold, press 1, press 2, you can implement that same process in your business today. It creates a perception. It creates a perception. Perception matters. You don't have to tell us anything. We would assume it based on how you direct the flow of our thought. So when we see a US phone number, we think, oh, an American company. Oh, a global brand. Oh. When we see multiple office addresses, what do we think? Hey, a multinational. Oh, an international business. A business that should be trusted. A brand that should be trusted. Right? You never said any of those things. You didn't have to say, oh, please trust me. You didn't have to do that, right? So perception matters. And you notice I spent a lot of time trying to get us to really understand the power of perception, because how people see you matters a lot. If I'm about to work with you and I don't perceive that you're somebody that can deliver value, and there's somebody else who probably might not be as good as you, but has that kind of perception, guess who my money is going to go to? And this happens time and again. I'm sure that in your own industry, in your own space, you know people who are not as competent as you are, but they get bigger deals than you. It's perception. How they are being seen. It's perception. It's perception. Perception matters. Perception is everything. All right, guys, so that's about perception, okay? And the summary there is, for starters, get a global office. Get a global office. What does that mean? That means get a global address, multiple addresses for your company or your brand, get multiple support phone numbers. You can get a US phone number, include it everywhere in your support system, your social media, your website. Get a get a multiple addresses, get phone numbers, get a website, get a work email. Stop using Gmail or Yahoo Mail or any other free service to do business. Get a work email. All right, get a work email. Those 3 things for starters, or 4 things I should say, because I added getting a website in there, right, would tremendously transform how you are perceived by potential clients. Because here's the thing that you must note. Every single day, you probably don't have an idea who's checking you out. Sometimes Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook will tell you, hey, this person checked out your profile. But they don't tell you everything. You don't know who has gone to check out your website today and what country they're from. You don't know who has seen your Instagram profile today. You have absolutely no clue. So that's why you have to create the perception, so that no matter who comes to check you out, they have a preconceived notion of you that is positive and influenced by you. You have to be intentional about perception. Okay, what are the action steps from there? Get a global office. What does a global office mean? Get multiple addresses for your business, right? Get multiple phone numbers for your business. Get a work email for your business. Get a website. That's the fundamentals of setting up a global office. So create perception of a quality and trusted brand. Are we getting this? Are we getting this? I hope we're getting this. I'm sure that we are. If we are, put in the comments, I'm getting this, I'm with you, I'm following along, I'm here. Put in the comments, I'm with you, I'm following along, I'm here. And then we're going to move on to the second concept, all right? So what's the second strategy? How do we go from just being a regular freelancer, one-man army, to creating a scalable business? How do we create a scalable business? What is a scalable business? It's a business that is an asset, right? It's an entity that's an asset. A scalable business is something that you can transfer, right? Where things work, whether or not you are there. Where things work, whether or not you are there. That's a scalable business. Where things work, whether or not you are there. If you know that today, if you take your hands off, nothing works, absolutely nothing works, then you do not yet have a scalable business, okay? So let's go into the second strategy. Next up is productize. Productize. I'm going to highlight this. Productize, right? That's the next thing. Productize. So I understand that a lot of people offer, services. You probably start out offering services and whatnot, but it gets to a point where you cannot scale yourself. There's only so many people that you can work with. Now you keep charging higher and higher and higher and higher prices, but you don't want to be self-employed. That's not the goal of building a scalable digital business. It's not self-employment. It's about creating a system that scales, right? Again, what's a scalable business? Something that works with or without your presence, right? So that means for you to do that at scale, you need to productize. Now, let's use GoNomad for instance. What really is GoNomad? As of today, GoNomad has a product that simply helps business owners who would typically be frustrated with paperwork, right? And this paperwork has to do with setting up companies internationally, has to do with setting up bank accounts internationally, has to do with setting up payment processors internationally. These things are cumbersome setup. I mean, you've probably opened a bank account before. You can imagine what the stress is like, right? Even in your home country, you can imagine what the stress is like. How much more trying to do that internationally, right? How much more trying to set up a business internationally, set up a bank account internationally, keep the business active year on year internationally, run the actual business, put tools in there, set up payment processing, handle taxes. You can imagine how crazy that can be. You can imagine how stressful that can be. And these are things that people are doing, not just in their home country. You also want them to do it internationally. That is crazy scary. But that's where GoNomad comes in. GoNomad is the platform that has productized the service of helping you to be able to set up your business, right? The service of helping you, because how many people can we serve on a one-to-one basis, right? How many people can I say, hey, let me help you out? And then I listen to them on the phone. Oh yeah, my business name is this and is that. All right, I've noted that down. Let me take your other thing. Oh, where's your ID card? What's the other thing and the other thing? How many people can I, as a person, serve? Right? So I thought to myself, how about we productize this service? So productizing a service is you creating a system to deliver a service repeatedly. That's what productizing a service means. It's you creating a system to deliver a service repeatedly. Guys, repeatedly. It has to be able to be done repeatedly. And so what did we do? We created a tech platform where instead of serving people one-to-one, you know what, guys? I mean, if we're going to serve you one-to-one, I'm probably going to ask you all the same questions. What's your business name? Where are you from? Why would you like this? What type of this do you like? And the other thing, and the other thing, and the other thing. What country do you live in? I'm probably going to ask all 1 million of you the same question. So how about all 1 million of you come to me, right, on my one platform and tell me what your names are, your business names are, where you live, all at one go without you even having to interact with me. So I'm not going to be sending you any physical paperwork. It's just going to be a fancy technology platform where you would have a personalized account. You would create an account, you would log in, you'd answer a few questions, and that's it. So you wouldn't have to call on the phone. How far now? How is it going now? What's happening? There's delay. Where are you? No stress. So instead of me trying to serve everybody because I'm good at it, right? What do? I create a platform where I can go from serving one-to-one to one-to-many. Okay, so if you're in the service game, as you grow, you get to the point where you need to productize a service. You can be the best affiliate marketer in the world, but you'll get to a point where you most likely have to productize that skill. Because how many people can you possibly serve per time? How many people can you write copy for? How many people can you write, do designs for per time? Right? So to scale a business, you need to detach the time factor, from your deliverability, right? Delivery can no longer be tied to your time alone. Things now have to work in a system. So for us at GoNomad, the system is currently a platform where business owners can launch a global business, manage the taxes, set up international banking, set up international payments, run the company year on year, send invoices to clients, send payment links, accept payments, and whatnot. Guess what? Completely self-service from one place. So it's doing away with the traditional service model and productizing the service experience so that not only one customer can use it, 2, 3, 10, 100, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. That's how we were able to scale. Because the first 2, 3, 4, 5 clients in the door, I had to service them personally. Yes, you would. But when you think long-term, it gives you an idea of where you are headed, what kind of experience that you want, right? How you want your sales process to be like, how you want your delivery system to be like, right? Guys, the goal again about this session, going from one-to-one to one-to-many. And to do that, you need to be able to productize that service. What is productizing a service? Creating a system that allows you to deliver your product or your service repeatedly with or without your input. And it takes time to get there. You don't experience, right? It's a beautiful experience. So productizing your service, okay? Creating systems to deliver your products or your services, leveraging tools, right? Leveraging tools. And now you want to leverage tools in the modern era because you can't always hire people for everything these days, right? Especially with artificial intelligence. There's a lot of platforms that can help you do a lot of things. Do you know that you can create stunning videos just like this that you don't have to sit behind the camera to record? AI can literally give you AI looking, human looking people, human looking faces that are going to record your videos for you, create content for your business, and all you have to give them is scripts. All you have to give them is what to say. And the AI is going to create a human being, shoot the video, record the video, and send you a produced version that you can post on your social media, and nobody is going to have a clue. If you're familiar with TikTok, right, trust me, we're getting to a point where you would almost not be able to recognize if a video you're seeing on TikTok was created by a human being or an AI. That's the advantage you have to a business owner. So gone are the days where you say, oh my God, I'm not good with the camera. I don't have a camera. I don't have a good phone. I don't have a good device. I don't have this or I don't have that. There's platforms like Captions AI, right? Next Gen AI that can help you to do what? To create content at scale. So you literally have marketers working for you on the clock without you even paying, right? I'm paying for them individually. You just get a simple piece of software, and that software can become your marketing team, right? That software can become your branding team. That software can become your sales team. That software can become your onboarding team, your operations team. There's software that helps you complement your people processes today. Okay, guys, don't forget, we're still on productizing, right? We're still on productizing your service. And I mentioned that it is about creating systems that enable you to deliver your service repeatedly. I don't know, right now, there's probably hundreds of people to 1,000 people checking out the GoNomad website, right? And guess what? There's also probably a lot of people, on our app signing up. Some people paying money, new accounts being created, while I'm here bringing the best value to the audience. 3 years ago, if that was going to be possible, I wouldn't have the time to be here. I would need to actually attend to everybody who was interested. And so by productizing that service, I have detached my time from the delivery experience, right? So now there's a platform, there's a productized version, okay? And the thing with productizing a service is it helps you to be able to create what I call a proprietary system, right? You need a proprietary system. Okay, now proprietary systems are things that you can teach and transfer, right? That you can teach and transfer to your team. These are systems, these are processes that you can teach and transfer to your team, such that delivery of your product or delivery of your service can happen with or without your presence. That's what productizing helps you do. Okay? That's what productizing helps you do. So it's completely important to get to a point where you have deliverables that have a structure such that every client that comes in, you don't have to think, oh, how do I service this client? How do we provide results? You have to get to a point where, if you say, oh, it's landing pages that were the best at, then cool, you create an offer around landing pages that has a proprietary delivery system that your team probably understands. So every new client that comes, maybe you have an AI that audits their website and generates 5 top best headlines for you. And then another AI helps you write copy. Another AI helps you write, proposed emails. And then all you do is sit down and review it and make edits, and you keep going. It's about systems. It's about systems, so that it shortens the time that you need to deliver a service. It shortens your interaction, right, within the delivery period, right, and gives you the ability to scale revenue. And you can only scale revenue when a lot of people can use your service or get your product or get your service without you having to be directly involved. That's exactly how it works, okay? And finally, to go from being just a one-man army to creating a scalable business, I'm going to share a free strategy. And that's today I came with 3 strategies, and this is the 3rd one, right? And the final one. And that is being able to invest in your growth. Invest in your growth, right? You would get to a point, if you implement this step, you will get to a point where you would have to make very critical decisions, okay? In terms of prioritizing your service, in terms of creating more perception, in terms of your marketing, and so on and so forth. So investing in your growth is the final component. A lot of people like to think of investing in their business as just investing in themselves. No, this is not just you now. This is you investing in the system that you want to scale, right? And you can do this in 2 ways, depending on the idea around your business. You can do it by bootstrapping. So bootstrapping is typically you just funding it and funding it from your own resources, or you can try to seek funding, external funding. External funding is raising, venture capital or raising investments. You can look that up later, right, for your idea. Now, not every idea needs to go down the raising venture capital path, right? Some ideas, you can bootstrap it, okay? In fact, most ideas, you can bootstrap it. You can fund it yourself from the revenues you're making, right, and the profits that you're keeping to be able to grow, right? But you must reinvest. Understand that at the very early phases of your business growth, you would be in a lengthy period of reinvestment, heavy reinvestment. If you go and look at the financial statements of some of the top companies around the world, what you would find is that there's a section called research and development. Research and development. What do? These companies allocate money, actual money, that doesn't go into product development. It doesn't go into logistics of any kind. It just goes into research. It doesn't go to marketing. It doesn't go to sales. Money is actually allocated, actual money, to fund research. So as somebody who's building a digital business, you want to be able to reinvest in your business very early on, right? get as much resources back into the business as possible. Why? Because you are most likely not at the stage where you need to be taking out a lot of cash yet. So instead, reinvest so aggressively such that the collective pie grows larger for you to take out of. It's better you reinvest and grow your pie to 100%, and you can take out 10% comfortably without anything happening, than growing your pie to 20% and you're taking out 15%. You would be left with less and less and less to start all over again. So instead, be on the offense when you're starting out, right? Invest more and reinvest more into your systems, into your business for a longer period of time before you begin to draw from it. Why? The goal is to increase the pie size such that when you begin to make drawings from it, when it begins to pay you back, you still are growing at an increased, unprecedented level. Now let's recap. We're trying to go from freelancing, one-man army, to being able to create a scalable digital business. And what's our first step? Number one action point, perception. We've got to create perception in the mind of the client. Even before they speak to us, even before they say their first word, we've got to create perception. How do we do that? I gave you a free tip, right? Create a virtual, a global office. What does that mean? That means you can set up multiple addresses for your business today from your country, right? You can set up multiple addresses. Get a US address for your business. Get a Nigerian address for your business. Have both of them. Put it on your website. Display it. You're in 2 countries, right? Get an international support phone number. Whether or not anybody calls, that's not the point. It's about perception. Okay? Creating perception. All right? Get a work email. Get a work email by purchasing a domain, right? And then finally, get a website for your business as well, right? It is completely very important. Now, number 2, we said, let us productize. You have to productize your service, okay? You cannot remain at one-to-one for the longest time. You have to go into one-to-many as well. So create systems that enable you to deliver your service repeatedly. And finally, reinvest aggressively so that you can grow the pie to a large extent. And when you begin to take drawings out of it, it does not hurt your growth. And with that said, I hope that I've been helpful. I hope it has been practical and, of course, actionable. And I wish you the very best on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uke. That was such an amazing and practical session. Please, can I hear some claps in the comment section?
Thank you.
Someone said that this particular session was precise for where he is and his journey, and I really hope that we get to
I like that.
Yeah. Just briefly before we end this session, I wanted to ask about partnerships. Partnerships as a strategy for scale or for growing your business or for moving from that freelancer mode to actually being a digital entrepreneur. And there are many ways that I have seen you do partnerships, particularly with building a team of amazing people. So I'll allow you to talk about it yourself, and then also partnering with other companies, global companies, that now give you credibility in the global market. So can you speak on that?
Absolutely, it's a key strategy for us, even, right? And thank you so much for bringing that up. Partnerships are amazing when you do it right. How do you do it right? Number one, look for businesses or organizations that are in your value chain. So do not be in an industry and be closed, right? Or be blindsided. If you're a freelancer offering a service, there's an organization that probably offers something within your value chain. Now, when you understand the value chain of how services flows before a typical client needs you, you would now be able to partner with somebody up the ladder. Now, how did we do it? We are helping businesses to launch internationally, right? Good. So that means when they launch internationally, they're going to need certain platforms like banking system, banking platforms. They're going to need several other things. So what did we do early on? We began to reach out to digital banks and tell them by saying, hey, your customer is our customer. Our customer is your customer, right? However, we are at different points in the value chain. They come to us first before they come to you, right? We help them set up before they come to you. So what if right, we set up a partnership where when people come to us, we can send them to you. And if people come to you, if people stray to you first, right, because we are an important part of the value chain, you can send them to us. And it's a win-win for both of us. And so we're able to pull that off with Payoneer, Omega, and so many other digital banks, right, that was actually very profitable, right? So customers, they would have some stray, leads and prospects who would come to them saying, hey, I'm looking to get an account, but I don't have a business. And they'll be like, hey, go to GoNomad and go get a business. And then they come to GoNomad to get a business. And then once they're done getting a business, GoNomad sends them right back to go get an account, right? So that's that's one way you can do partnership. You have to first of all understand the value chain of your business, of your industry, rather, right? So don't be blindsided. It's not just about, oh, I know how to code or I know how to design. Before somebody comes to you, who do they go to? That's who you should be partnering with, right? Before they come to you, who do they go to? And then after they come to you, they work with you, who do they go to after you? So before and after, that's how we think about it. We're in the middle. We always see ourselves in the middle. Who do our typical prospects interact with before us and after us? And then we go reach out to those people. So lawyers, hey, there are some entrepreneurs that call you up saying, hey, they want to set up companies, so how can we work together, right? Because they most likely call you first, so how can we work together? Accountants, they most likely call you up first, how can we work together? You are before me, right? And then after me, banks, right? When they set up the business with me, they need to work with you. Payment processors, when they set up the business with me, they need to work with you. How can we partner up? See? So that's how it works. In your industry, understand the value chain, the flow of services, the flow of products. Always see yourself in the middle. Who's before me? Who's after me? Who does my clients go to first before me? Who do they go to after me? Go and speak to those people. Somebody's going to say yes. And that's how we do partnerships that actually benefits both sides. Yeah, hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Uke. That was amazing. Oh, the other side of partnerships, I wanted you to touch on a bit, just because I know people don't necessarily know how to form partnerships within the digital skilled expert space. I often tell friends that, who are in the space, that if you are skilled in being the digital marketer, it doesn't pay you to be the operations person as well. If you are the most brilliant Facebook ads expert, SEO expert, you will need an operations person. Yeah. So rather than
I love that angle.
So like how people can leverage on each other's strengths within the space to build a team, because partnership can actually start among the team before it progresses to finding partnership through companies.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. And it's a very quick hack, I would say, guys, a very quick hack to grow, right? Bringing on board other people, right, who can share the vision and push it to grow. When I started GoNomad, I knew that at some point I geek out about marketing, right? I geek out about strategy and stuff like that. So I don't want to spend a lot of time in the product side of things. So I needed to partner up, right? Again, partnerships teach you about increasing the size of the pie. Because now that there's somebody else on the team, I want the pie to be bigger, so it's beneficial to both of us, or three of us, or four of us, as the case may be. So I reached out to now my CTO at the time and said, hey, let's partner up on this thing. You love products, you love technology, you love to stay in that space, you love to geek out about that, you want to code all day. Great. I don't want to do that. But I think I have got a pretty good idea here that if you can bring all of that energy, right, all of that focus, I would make sure that whatever you create is going to reach the world, is going to reach people. People are actually going to pay for it. If we combine that, it's going to work. And then guess what? Not only did I need somebody to build, I also needed somebody to organize, right? So that's how I got the third person in. So I also needed somebody to organize, right? So I knew that if I'm geeking out about preaching the gospel of GoNomad and geeking out about that and marketing it and pushing the brand and doing all of that, I would not have as much time to focus on the daily operations, right? And of course, you don't want to be selling, and not delivering quality service or quality products, right? So what did I do? I said, hey, I need you to come lead the operations, right? Let's partner up, okay? Good idea. Someone's going to build it. I'm going to make sure that it reaches the end consumer, but I need somebody to ensure that when customers come in the door, they would actually be able to get service, right? So it actually, yes, does start from your team. And, we've done that consistently. And that's how we're able to grow from, 3 to 25 people now, doing different things within the organization. And we're all partnering together, right? As I'm here somebody, is probably, thinking about a specific process within the GoNomad ecosystem that I'm not thinking about, right? And I'm grateful for that because somebody has that covered, right? So it's not enough to have the skill. You can't do it all. When you want to scale, you please welcome people into your team, right? The reason why a lot of people don't welcome people into the team is because they want the 100% for themselves. And so they think that, oh, if I'm bringing somebody else in, somebody's going to take something from me. They're not taking anything from you. The goal is to partner up to increase what's available to share. Because on your own, you have this, but together, we probably have this. And I can take out so many of this within this. But if I have only this, then I have only this. But if I have this, I can take out this and this and this and this and this and that, right? So find people that complement your workflow. You are the creator, you are the creative, you are the marketer, you're the designer, you're the developer. You need an operations person, you need a salesperson, right? So maybe get one person, right? Partner up on the vision, increase the pie, right? And the more time you have to spend on one thing, the more excellent you become at it. Same thing goes for the other person. And guess what, guys? You're now beginning to create magic. The pie is increasing, right? Because we have very focused people working on different things within the same thing, and it's increasing the value of that thing, right? It's increasing the collective value. And as the collective pie increases, guess what? Everybody is able to benefit simultaneously. So yeah, I really hope that helps.
Yes, it sure did. Thank you so much, Uke, for this amazing session. I believe that everyone here got value. And I also believe it, as practical as it is, it's something that if you're serious about, you can get started on it tomorrow. And talking about getting started, how can people who are interested in building that global business, creating that perception you talked about, do it through GoNomad? Because I know that's exactly what you guys help entrepreneurs and businesses do, no matter their size and the years of experience in the industry.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. So if you're looking to at least get started on creating a global perception for your brand, you want to get addresses in multiple countries, you want to get international phone numbers for your support team and so on, please go to gonomadhq.com, right? And or just email us support@gonomadhq.com. Either that or you go to the website, right? My virtual background is our company logo. You see, I'm so proud of it. My virtual background for this call is the company logo. So if you see this logo at the website that you go to, then you're in the right place, right? GoNomadHQ.com, GoNomadHQ.com. That's the web address. Okay, go there. Tell them that you attended the DBHQ session. You would like to learn more, getting started with, maybe you want to set up your business in the UK, US, you want to register your company, or you just want to create the global office for now. Cool. Let them know that's what you want to do, okay? And they would provide you the best, the most excellent service in the world that I can guarantee, right? So go to gonomadhq.com or send an email to support@gonomadhq.com and you'll be able to do that. If you notice, guys, no place did I say DM me or here's my WhatsApp number. Why? Systems. It's now a scalable system. It's productized. So there's a web address, there's a support email, right? The support email, you don't know if I'm the one handling the support email. You just assume that there's a support person. It could be me. But how would you know? Perception. I've created a perception that, there's somebody manning the support email, but you don't know if it's me. You can't know. All that you're going to ever know is that there is a support@gonomadhq.com, right? Guys, see how important it is? See how important it is? It's practical.
Yeah, it is very practical. It is. That's why I said anybody who is serious can actually start right this minute into starting with perception, if nothing else, making sure that you're positioned how you want to in the marketplace. So thank you so much, Uke. It's been such a practical session, and I hope that everyone here has taken practical notes on what they are going to do and will get on to GoNomad to set up their account to create that perception that they want to get or how they want to be seen in the global market. Thank you so much.